Philosophers and theologians have spent centuries trying to determine what a human being is actually made of. While biology provides the physical map, the composition of our consciousness remains an enduring mystery. This mystery is defined by a central debate. One side argues for dichotomy, the belief that humans are composed of two parts, a physical body and an immaterial soul. The other side argues for trichotomy, claiming we possess three distinct elements: body, soul, and spirit. The tripartite view is anchored in a specific passage from 1 Thessalonians. It explicitly lists the spirit, the soul, and the body in parallel, providing the structural basis for the three-part view of human anatomy. This categorizing is more than a semantic exercise. How we define our anatomy dictates how we sustain it. Treating wellness as a purely intellectual or cognitive state risks starving the other vital layers of the human system. The early church addressed this by developing a system of holistic worship. This was a precise regimen of physical and mental engagement, specifically designed to nourish all three distinct parts of the human form. The first layer is the body. Early Christian communities centered their gatherings on intense physical participation, defined by the breaking of bread and communal agape feasts. These love feasts were not abstract rituals. They were practical mechanisms for physical nourishment and radical generosity that forged a deep biological bond between members of the community. Modern anthropology at Stanford University has begun to validate these ancient practices. Researcher Tanya Luhrmann focuses on active believers to understand how religious ritual affects the human body. This chart compares active communal worshipers to the general population. Luhrmann's data reveals that treating God as a real social relationship within a community measurably boosts immune function and lowers markers of chronic loneliness. Our bodies require communal action to thrive. By integrating social bonding with physical ritual, these ancient practices effectively hack our biology to create tangible resilience. We then move to the soul, the realm of the mind. Long before modern psychology, the early church developed methods to train the inner mind against anxiety and intrusive thoughts. The primary tool for this was the Jesus Prayer, a short, repetitive arrow prayer. Practitioners use a woven rope called a chotki to maintain a continuous rhythmic focus throughout their day. This practice mirrors cognitive behavioral therapy. Like CBT, this rhythmic focus acts like a healing oil for an overstrained personality. By shifting attention from negative fixations towards a positive grounding phrase, the mind actively reshapes its own neural reality. The soul thrives on psychological discipline. Ancient repetitive prayers were essentially early forms of cognitive therapy, demonstrating that the mind can be trained to resist internal chaos. The deepest layer is the spirit. This is the inner sanctum, a space separate from our intellect or emotions where we engage with the unseen. Accessing this layer requires hesychia, or inner stillness. It involves clearing the internal temple of worldly noise to achieve wordless contemplation and direct contact with the divine. The external power of this internal focus is illustrated in the historical account of Saint Thérèse of Lisieux and her practice of intercessory prayer. Thérèse directed her intense spiritual focus toward the repentance of Henry Pranzini, a cold, unrepentant serial killer facing the guillotine. While Pranzini remained arrogant throughout his trial, his behavior shifted suddenly in his final seconds. He demanded a crucifix and kissed it just as the blade fell, an event credited to the projected focus of spiritual intercession. The spirit thrives on deep, wordless contemplation, unlocking a capacity to influence reality far beyond our physical senses. Today, ancient theology and modern science are converging on the same realization. The body, soul, and spirit function as a single, interdependent organism. We usually assume that humans worship because they already possess belief. We think the internal thought must always precede the external act. The Stanford research suggests the opposite. This is the concept of real-making. The physical and mental effort of ritual is what actually builds the belief. People believe because they worship. Whether made of 2 parts or 3, the mechanical truth of our design remains the same. our physical actions and internal states are inextricably linked. Holistic worship proves humans are wired to be transformed by what they practice. Our anatomy is a unified system designed to be activated through action.